Alright, ready? Dad's gonna do a video. Okay?
Yeah, what is it?
You'll be quiet.
Huh?
You'll be quiet. See, a lot has changed. We're going. We're leaking out of some shit. Let's get back to the shop. Now today I want to point out the elephant in the room. The big hole in the side of my car. Now I'm not planning to put a window back in here, I'm planning to put something else. Now if you watch the Beerbilance build, you know that I have something very special coming up. Now in this box right here is the Emu Wing that is going to be replacing the side window in this. So what's an Emu Wing, you ask? It pretty much places the window and then it turns it into a door, so that way you can access everything from the side. So I'll open this thing up and start prepping to get it on the car. Alright, so I'm guessing in here is all our hardware. Now, the last time I installed an Emu Wing, it was actually pretty good because they give you all the hardware you need, like the silicone and the sealant. So this is what I really like about the Emu Wing, because like I haven't opened the box yet, but I know what to expect. Yeah, note, heaps of instructions. So they actually have great installation guide telling you where everything goes and what screws to use, which is brilliant. I really like that one. We have a brochure. Some really heavy duty pinch weld is actually what seals when you close the door. So that's what it seals up against. If you look closely, they have marked where every hinge goes, which makes it so much easier. You don't, it just takes the guesswork out of trying to figure out which one's which. Like I said, comes with your Sikaflex, nozzle, little bits of hardware, keys, and bottle opener. Brilliant. Gas struts, and then these are the little caps that cover the bolt holes on the outside. Alright, next up is what we all come here to see. Well, that was a mission to get out of that packaging. So this ring here is actually the ring that you will be installing in your car like that. I wonder if that'll stay there. Probably won't, and then it'll bend and then it won't work. That ring there is the first step. So once you glue that on and let it set for about 24 hours, then you can go ahead and start mounting everything. You're walking in front of the camera, kid. Alright, let's get this one out. Alright, so here is what we all came to see. The Emu Wing itself. Alright, let's put it on there and see how it looks. So basically this is what the end result's going to look like. It's going to be a sheet of steel, and then this turns, and we'll see if we can do it, which I can't. I'm going to drop it, and then this lifts up like that. You did that because yeah. Let's put the ring on, and we'll get back to doing this. First step, we're going to refer to our instructions, because I probably shouldn't be doing this because real men don't read instructions. Remove rear window. Check. Apply pinch weld. Alright, so first up on the list is going to be our pinch weld. So I'm going to start in the bottom corner, work my way around, and then hopefully get this roof back up where it was, because I was under the impression that it did not save that, but hats off to Emu Wing, they thought about that. So I'm hoping after we install it, I'm going to be able to pull this out and change the roof lining. If not, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Alright, next day. I suppose that's the joys of having kids. You have to stop what you're doing every 10 minutes. But alright, so one thing to keep in mind, we are going to be gluing to the pinch weld. So we're going to clean it all up with wax and grease remover. Apply our glue, make sure it's where we need it to be, and then stick it on a place. From then, we're going to wait 24 hours and then we're going to be able to put our door on. One thing I do recommend is making sure all your pinch weld is very straight, because you are going to be gluing to the pinch weld. So that's basically it. Once it's in there, she's in there. So I'm going to apply a bead of Sikaflex all the way around here. And we're going to sit our frame in, and then we're going to clamp it. Away we go. Using our Sikaflex that come with the kit. In our gun. Alright, so our next step is to throw our frame in, make sure it's aligned, and then clamp her into place. Let's hope I haven't stuffed this up. Oh, I already have. Another thing that will aid you in trying to smooth off the silicone is soapy water. So once you put it all on there, I know it's not silicone, it's Sikaflex. This stuff is sticky as hell, but it'll just, if you get a little bit on the paint, it's not going to just stick to it straight away. You'll have a bit of time to get it off. So a bit of soapy water, flick it around, and then you can just use your finger and then smooth it out, so that way you have a really nice finish. Alrighty, so while that glue's drying, I'm going to add this next piece. So it's sort of like a angle bracket, which that is going to sit up near our hinge and pinch that pinch weld and the hinge together. So that way you sort of have a bit more support there. So while the glue's still wet, I'm going to throw them in. That way if it squishes it a bit, that's where it's going to sit. We'll get to that. Alright, so our frame's set in place with the Sikaflex, got all the clamps on there, I've got the top brackets on where our hinges are going to go. So now we've got to let this sit for 24 hours and then come back and then throw our door on. And that's pretty much it. It's a very simple installation and it adds awesome access to your vehicle. The main reason I wanted one for the Shorty is because the rear window is so big that it's just going to be an excellent access point. Flip it up the side, you can have your fridge, your esky, whatever you have on the side here, and you can just reach in, grab it, keep going. We'll let this soak for 24 hours. We'll see you in a minute. So in the kit, you'll get your little bag of hardware. It's got the keys for your locks, all the little bolts for your hinges. Another thing I really like about the hinges is they mark them for you. So front right, yeah, front right, front, right, bang. So obviously this one goes on the front, the other ones will be marked middle and rear. Front, right. Oh yeah, front, right. Yeah, front, rear, front, right. I know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna get to putting these on and then we can add our door and our weather seal. Another thing I probably should have done, and it said it in the instructions, is probably add masking tape on the face of this, because now I've got to go through and clean off the excess Sikaflex. And you can probably also do it on your cab if you really cared, but this is my beta, so you can probably do it to the cab if you really cared, but honestly, I'm probably just gonna sand that up and paint it later on, so it's not a bad thing. So got our brackets just firmly mounted in place. So I'm gonna add the weather strip now, so that way when I push the door on, I know where it needs to sit. The lip on the weather strip will add away from the inside of the frame. So facing down or facing up. And then your opening, always put it at the bottom, because if you put it at the top, I've made this mistake, water goes in and then it fills it up, and then when you open that wing, all the water's gonna drain inside the car. So keep this at the bottom. I do a quick strip of wax and grease remover, that way we know it's going to stick. Next thing we're going to do is actually install the door. There's a few bits of hardware that you need, which are these bits right here. These are just simply little buttons that hold the door in place. So door's sitting on there now. I'm going to put the buttons in and then screw it from the other side. Buttons are simply just a 10mm nut with a washer. That's going to go through the hole and then bolt onto a hinge on the other side. Okay, so from there, this is now bolted on. So I believe this should work now. So all I got left is to do the middle one, line him up, put the bolts in, away we go. One thing I did notice is the adjustment. So just adjust these in a little bit. It's well adjusted. So there you go, the door is now on. Now just make sure you take your time lining all this up so that way it closes nicely. I still yet to put the gas struts in, but before I do that, I want to show you something that has changed from the last model that I installed on the Bearbulance. We're taking you off the tripod for a second. Now I just want to show you this. So see the hinges. So the last model that I installed were just turn hinges. Now this one, if you look closely, the hinge goes on that flap, and then as you turn it more, it pulls in. That is brilliant. That means you don't have to fight the door trying to get it shut. It does it all itself, locks into place. Now that right there is an excellent feature in my book. That's changed the game, guys. Awesome. Locks in. Mint. So one thing I got left to do is put the gas struts on. We'll do that right now. goes up really high. I like that. Because I remember the Bibulance ones went up to like there, which was good. But this goes all the way up. I realised what I said after I said it, but I think I'll keep it in there just for the fact that I knew I stuffed up and I want to show you how to fix it. So if you don't want this resting on something and stopping it, you can adjust this screw right here, which will pretty much give you a stopper and then tell it to stop. Right there, I'm sure every single carpenter was just laughing at me when I said it went higher than before, but that's because the screw wasn't adjusted. So if you adjust that screw, then you can pretty much get it to stop where you want, so it's not flopping up and hitting the roof or rooftop tent or something else that you got. I'm going to finish doing up these bolts and then we'll check her out. Now it's as simple as that, Emu Wing's installed. So the longest part about doing all that is waiting for the glue to cure. So easy enough to do in the backyard. So make sure you check out Emu Wing. I'll put a link in the description below, that way you can see their website. They have a wide range of products for all different types of vehicles. The reason I wanted one on a Shorty so bad is because the window is massive and it just opens up a whole new game. It's like having a canopy really on your wagon. It's not bad. Anyway, that one's it for this episode. Now all that's left is me to grab a beer and admire my hard work. Cheers boys, see you in the next one. Good weekend out, isn't it?